What up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? We back, baby. Listen, man, we back with the backdrops. You hear me? Ola and Iz. What up, Ola?
It's good, Iz.
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man.
It's good.
I'ma get busy with it right now. I'ma get busy with it right now. I'ma get busy with it right now.
Just tell y'all what I'm with my man Ola, what we got going on for y'all. Ola and Iz, man, we branding this thing. Not only do we got the shirts, I stay rocking it. We got other kinds. We got our business cards, man. We in the process of creating commercials, man.
Sure.
We getting ready to start doing some stand-up skits, comedy, man. We speaking this into existence. 2024. We getting ready to start going to speak at the schools, man. Nah, I'm telling you, man. This ain't just about a podcast, brothers, sisters. What we out here trying to do is be able to just connect with the people, empower them, inspire them, just hang out with them, man. So y'all support us, man. Show us some love, and if there's anything, y'all, if there's a location you got, if there's a commercial you need shot, if you know somebody that you feel like we could connect, reach out to us, man. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, bring us in, baby. What do we need to do?
As always, make sure that y'all like, comment below. Make sure that you subscribe in the corner, share up top, and let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going, baby. All right, check it out, man. So we gonna kind of talk about. I kind of like two-part this one, right?
Okay.
We dropping our Ola in this perspective. You know what I'm saying? We having conversations. We're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about dating in 2024.
Okay.
Right? And we're just going to talk about there. Wherever we go, we're going to go, baby.
Hey, that'll work.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring us in, man.
Bring us in.
I noticed that you got people in your life, they always call you my brother, you my friend. You know what I'm saying? You my brother, you my friend.
Yeah.
And this ain't for y'all that watching. If you're watching, this ain't for me point out, because I know I haven't been a great friend sometimes in my life.
Okay.
And and I have to evaluate that, right? Sometimes I ain't been a real brother the way I should have been a brother, right?
Okay.
You know what happens, right?
Yeah.
This is more about, man, self-evaluation, right? And then we're kind of like enlightening and evaluating, because some of us have friendships that we're in that honestly, it's like, why are we in it, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like every time something go on, all it is cracking jokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool and all, man. People are going through things, right? Would you agree?
Of course. Always,
Right? Would you
always.
going through things?
Yeah.
I think, what I'm saying, like, before I even say my piece, like, let's say you going through something.
Mm-hmm.
And every time, somebody reaches out, or you got your group text messages, and it's always jokes, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like in friendships, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no, hey man, are y'all okay? How y'all doing? There's no checking in, man, right?
Yeah.
I just think that sometimes fellas should check in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times we, as men, right, since we're on the topic of that, is we fall into this follow mentality, right? We have like for example a group, and the quote unquote right thing to do would be check in, be supportive, right? But that's too hard. And I'm not saying it's actually too hard, but it's too hard to do. To just do that, right? It's easier to make a joke at something, right?
Okay.
It's easier to throw shots because, hey, you might get a couple laughs, and that is a little bit more fulfilling to get the laughs out of that than to just embrace fellow brother, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, unfortunately, we fall victim to that a lot of the time, where we feel like the right path to go is to crack a joke, is to make light of a certain issue or make light of a certain success, right?
Yeah.
When in reality, it really doesn't benefit not only the person that's making the joke, nor the person that you're making the joke about. Because really, at the end of the day, you're just cracking jokes at someone, and what's the end goal?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just to get attention for.
That's fair. That's fair. And like I said, Jordan, because we talking about real life stuff, man. Having conversations. I was talking to one of the fellas that's in our group, and he was like, bro, I haven't been responding to any text messages. It's like, man, why?
Yeah.
It's like, what's keeping you different or neutral from it? I said, man, you know what it is? I'm tired of being in the place that I'm in. I'm tired of overlooking things and just being, this and that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, I'm thinking to myself, all we do is text and joke and laugh. And I'm thinking to myself, these are guys I've known 20, 30 years. I'm thinking about, but then the brother was like, man, he feels some type of way because he going through things. And it made me dawn. And what I have really been doing coming into 2023, 2024 is really look at me as who am I to the people that are in my life.
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I being a friend? Am I being a brother, right? Because like he even said to me, he says, man, you know, everybody's saying brother, but they're not there for you.
Yeah.
Everybody wanna kick you when you're down, shine light on you, and man, they're not tapping in.
Yeah.
Our rates are high. We're going through things, right? In life, right? Things are happening. And I'm thinking to myself, is our relationships and friendships based on joking and laughing? Because I'm cool with the joking and laughing. I'm quick to crack jokes.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking like, man, I'm going through things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nobody's sending a text, hey fellas, man, we love y'all, keep your head up. And so I don't, because I feel like I understand that who's for me is for me. Who's not is not. And so even me and my man Oldman saying sometimes we got to reach out more. Sometimes we got to plant that seed of change.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to do that, right?
Yeah.
And if you're in a group of relationships with people and you're wondering, like, where are we going? Why are we not growing? Why are we not elevating? Ladies too, you got your friends, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you got to sometimes somebody, right? If not one or two, have to dial in and say, look, man, hey, appreciate all the jokes and laughter, but man, we going through some stuff, and if y'all truly my friend, my brother, tap in with me. Let's encourage. If you not, take me off this text thread.
Yeah,
take me out of.
Look, you took a page right out of my thought process, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Is that sometimes you just got to challenge, what isn't likable, right? If you're not liking the trend, kind of invoke what you want to have in that trend. And if it doesn't work out, then it's time to bow out. You know what I'm saying? Because, something that you talked about in the past was, we have to invoke love into the picture. Yeah. And a lot of times people say love and just, loosely throw out the term, but really embracing what love is, embracing your fellow brother or sister and, really spreading love, actually being there, being supportive. And you can crack jokes. Like, jokes are cool. I like
humor's great.
Humor's great. It's neat. It's necessary. Yeah. But there has to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? If that's all that it's about, then to me it's foolish. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, what is the actual point? Yeah. But you said something that I agree with. You got to put that out there and see where it goes. If you find out that putting out that love in that group is not being accepted, you no longer should be putting out that love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people are going to be who they're going to be. You can't. Oftentimes, a grown man has made his decisions as to who he's going to be by the age of 25. Yeah. Right. We're like in our 40s at this point, and I'm not saying that you cannot change, but the chances of a grown man changing how he's communicating with other men is highly unlikely. Right?
Because they don't see the need to.
They don't see the need.
It's not that they can't.
Yeah,
it's absolutely
can.
possible.
It's absolutely
It's that
possible.
we actually build up a tolerance level to where we think the way we are is okay because of our accolades and our financial growth. And look at me, I got this and that.
I ain't had no problem with this before. Nobody said nothing about this before.
And because you know why? Ain't nobody exposing it.
Exactly.
And we put ourselves around, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ola.
No, go ahead.
But we put ourselves around people who affirm our weaknesses, like as lower their strengths. I noticed that around fellas. I know that, I like me and Ola talk all the time, and one thing I've been gifted with, and I know it, is discernment, right? Because I be discerning things, and I be like, wow, not nothing. It's just something that, like, I see it, like, that don't make no sense, But I find when men, what they do a lot of times, we do as men sometimes, we'll put ourselves around people who will not see the insecurities, but praise the things that they feel is like is important. Yes. And this is something I was thinking about as you were saying. Majority of my life, the stuff that I've mistakes, there's a lot, anybody know me, I made a lot of good mistakes. I made a lot of bad mistakes, made a lot of good things, made a lot of okay things, right? Decisions wise in life. And my pain after a certain point was due to my own choices. Okay. You look at it, when I was 10 years old, like I said in the last joint, my mom was killed by a relative, right? And as little go on, you hear more, but was killed when I was 10 years old. I grew up in a very abusive home where my father was very abusive and he was very aggressive, you know? And so that played a role coming into my teens and younger adulthood to where it caused me to make some very poor decisions. Why? I grew up around nothing but pain and chaos. But people will judge me and say, he's foolish. He makes bad decisions. He makes this. I didn't get no psychological help. I didn't try to ask for advice because you know why? I was alone in this and that. And know why? I didn't have uncles because they were all jacked up. I didn't have men in my life who would be like, come here, little boy. Come here, young man. Let me help you.
Set you straight.
Because they didn't know, because I was afraid to expose it, because I felt like it was weakness if I exposed those things. And so made a lot of poor decisions. Coming into my younger 20s and stuff like that, right? I was experiencing the repercussions of that pain. And people didn't understand. They just thought I was just being rebellious. No, I'm fucking, excuse my language, hurting.
Yeah.
Man, the woman I loved was taken from me, who was there for me, and ain't nobody felt my pain or understand. So the thing going in my 20s and 30s, judge me if you want to. I don't care. I'm this close to giving up on life. But in my mind, I told myself I would be unwilling to quit. Now we're gonna fast forward. And like I said, little by little. So here I am, 30 something years old. I'm coming into myself, realizing, and for me, it was by the grace of God. And I ain't saying that because I'm holding it out perfect, but it was him who really made me understand the more meaning of life, right? So check it out. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question in a minute. So boom, come to my 30s. Now I'm 44 right now, right? Okay. Here we go. Then I get married, right? When I should have never got married. Right? Because long story short, so I spent majority of my life in internal pain, right? Trying to love people, trying to be loved, and yet I didn't understand love or intimacy for myself. So here we are. So a lot of people in your circle will judge you without understanding the repercussions of your pain. So I made a lot of decisions, I think up until my mid 30s, based on the results of that, without understanding that, you need to find peace with self. You need to evaluate self, right? Within the last year, I would say, was when I realized, man, in life, I'm tired of justifying or making excuses or not tapping into my fullest potential and using in a sense, being a victim, when I try never to think like that. But do that way. So here we are. Fast forward. It is wonderful for friends or people that say they're your friends because you've known them for all these years to joke and laugh with you all the time. But rarely do, it's more about, look, hear me, let me shine on you, let me do this, let me do that. And sometimes they do check in, make sure you're good. I won't say they won't. It's not directed toward the fellas in my life. It's not. We spend a lot less time dialing in and tapping in with each other than just kind of shining and joking and this and that. Those are cool, but we are going through things. And if you're a friend, if you're a brother, if you have that, be that, right? In your life, like where do you feel like you yourself have possibly not touched a portion of your great potential, right? If this makes sense to you, potential because of friendships that you've had. Do you feel like there's points in your life where you're not tapping into your greatest potential with the people that are in your life? And if so, why?
Great question. There's been a lot of examples in my life where I've kind of foregone seeking the right type of information from said friends and kind of gone with what felt comfortable, right? And kind of to that same point of being okay with maybe like the joke cracks every once in a while and being like, okay, well, that's my friend, whatever they give me, whether good or bad, that's what I'm going to roll with, versus the person that's probably telling me about myself and where I can actually self-improve. I'm going to be like, that's kind of, uncomfortable. Let me go with what's, easier, even if it's not really causing me comfort to be, cracked on all the time, I'm saying? I'm going to be like, well, that's kind of like the norm. So I've kind of fallen victim to that as well, where I didn't actually correct. And, for me, it's about setting boundaries and really hunkering down on those boundaries, having your own boundaries for yourself and letting it be known to others what those boundaries are. And if it means cutting certain people off, that's just what it means, at the end of the day. Because a lot of times people are going to do what they're going to, what you allow them to do. And you have to be able to set those boundaries for yourself so that it doesn't actually continue. And I know I, mentioned before about, humor. I do think that it's important. Absolutely. But I do believe that you need to have that balance, right? You really need to have that balance, because a lot of times you keep people in your circle, and sometimes they'll just, be cracking jokes, and nobody says anything. It just continues and continues.
It spirals out of control.
It just spirals out of control, or like that becomes like the standard of communication, right? Every time that you see this person, it's just like, you whatever, and then nothing's really said, and it's like, we go out to said event, right?
Yeah.
That's not actually cool. As men, that's not how we need to be moved. We don't have, we don't need to have like a kumbaya session every single time. But at the same time, we do need to tap in and
tap
check
in
on them,
as
you know
men.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Great answer, bro. Great answer.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, brother. And that's the thing that I'm finally at. And I say this for myself, man. I came to a point within this last year, not, we just started February, but then this since last year, that made me realize I got to slow down. Yeah. See, I'm always like, let me do this, and that. I'm always trying to do this because what it is I'm really learning. Like I said, I wasn't raised by, I didn't have a mentor. So I had to learn from men that I watched and been around and said, I like that, don't like that. I
want to interrupt you real quick. When you said that, I meant to, key in on that. It's been said before that you never know what someone is going through. And so treat people, with kindness and such. I think that is something that is highly overlooked. You know what I'm saying? You never know what someone is going through.
Never, brother.
And to sit here and judge someone based upon what you see and just assume that what you see is the reality is foolish.
Yeah.
If you're not going to dive in, cool. You don't have to dive in and, know everyone's life or, know the deaths, but at least treat people with civility, with kindness, be even keel. Yeah. Because you don't know.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of times people snap. Appreciate it. A lot of times people snap. A lot of times people are going through stuff. Yeah. And you see a smile on someone's face when you're cracking jokes on them. You think that it's cool. Next thing you know, that person's life is over. It happens. It happens daily.
It happens, And to your point, definitely, man. I'm glad you chimed in. This is what I also looked at was he said this when we started this podcast. Called him. I said, talk about it. He said something to me that has really been epic in my life is, we're going to have to talk more. And I was like, nah, bro. We don't even got to do all that,
I remember
bro.
That. I remember that.
I was like, bro, we don't got to do all that. I don't need to talk to you all the time, bro. I'm thinking like, what kind of joint is this, bro? We men don't got to talk all the time. And then I was like, bro, as time went on, I realized, bro, you ignorant as hell. So, and I say you're ignorant, which means lack of knowledge for y'all that know, is because when any real relationship or brotherhood or friendship or anything in family and stuff is, don't nobody care if you call all the time. Yeah. You need that to grow with each other. True. We've got a business and a brand we're building. We have to talk all the time. Yeah. And we talk all the time. And also too, what does it do? It empowers and encourages, elevates. I've grown through this bond. And thank you, brother. And so looking at it, y'all, like this is the thing. Sometimes it's okay to be the oddball if you're the oddball for bigger purposes and growth in your own life, right? And, I'm that's something that I've learned. And I've also realized too, being those things that I've gone through have affected relationships that I've had. I had unhealthy relationships, not due to the fact that I didn't want to have a healthy relationship. I didn't know how to. Like, I wasn't a very intimate man. I'm still learning, and it's through my youngest daughter who's teaching me intimacy because she's so loving, and you can't be loud, you can't be aggressive. Well, we wrestle, but you can't be like that. Yeah. And she's gentle, and I'm like, dang, yo, like, okay. And then, we lay with each other and watch TV, and I just
That's beautiful.
Relax, and it's very beautiful. Yeah. So it teaches me how to speak better when it comes to women. And I ain't gonna say I wasn't never good at that, but I wasn't never to the point I am like with her. True. And she's taught me how to be more understanding, compassion, right? Because you need compassion. And I was talking to one of our brothers, and I was telling him, I said the same thing. He'll ask me, what do I owe this phone call? I said, bro, I'm checking in. I'm just checking in, bro, see where your mindset is at. Like, bro, where's our mindset? And that's the difficulty. And that's why we talked about what a lot of people don't understand about what men struggle with is men have for so long taken all the weight of life and put it on their shoulders. Yeah. And have literally had shorter lifespans, had larger health issues, right? Due to the fact that it was unresolved. Yeah. And so, man, to me, it's like, fellas, I like, even to the homies, man, I love them.
Yeah.
But right now, it's about me being the best brother and friend that I can be to those that are in my life.
Absolutely.
You know, to stop making bad decisions just because I'm unwilling to challenge myself to elevate, set better goals, better standards, and just live by that, and not keep making justifications. And also, too, when you know somebody going through something and people are consistently cracking jokes, just stand up. I'm big on that anyways, but just stand up and say, yo, y'all chill, man.
Yeah.
Like, chill.
It's enough.
Like, it's enough, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's enough. We're 40s, we're 30s, we're 20s. Like, let's grow up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's cool. You know, I'm like, you know, and it's crazy because I was even talking and one of the fellas, you know, and it was like one of the brother that I'm talking about, he was like, you know, he shouted out certain fellas.
Okay.
That normally most people don't shout out, right?
Yeah.
Don't give them their accolades, their flowers, right?
Yeah.
And then the one guy, gentleman, came and did a video and was like, yeah, but what about us? This and that. Man, give me mine, man, F that. And I'm looking at it, bro. And I'm like, bro, I'm just thinking to myself, see, that's what's wrong with us. We're not tapped in. We act like we are. But bro, it's like, we not vulnerable enough with each other. And I'm not talking about just with these fellas. I'm talking about a lot of times as men, we're not vulnerable with men to help each other grow. Say, look, bro, I'm going through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going through it.
Absolutely. And you know, not to cut this conversation short, I think it's a great segue into the dating aspect because I think that this affects how we actually interact with women, right? How we interact in the dating scene, you know, a lot oftentimes because we haven't actually built that base up. We haven't built that core. Our core is weak, right? And then we go into these relationships and we think that we can kind of, you know, stand on our own and, you know, or stand on a feeble base, right?
Yeah.
And then wonder why our relationships are having as much issues as they are, right? We're wondering why we're in a relationship and we want to be assertive, we want to be a dominant figure, and we're getting ran over in our own relationship, in our own home. You know what I'm saying? We're actually doing what we can, right? Or thinking that we're doing all we can. And at the same time, your woman's not even looking at you as an actual man. You know what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of what you
Would
talked
that be
about,
due to the false reality of what they think a man
absolutely,
looks like?
absolutely, and kind of like continuing what is problematic in your life. You know, like we talked about before, that self-reflection. They're not actually having that self-reflection, or they're self-reflecting and thinking that what they're doing is the right thing. Yeah. Right. And so they go into this relationship, they go into marriages, and they're wondering why they're looked at as kind of subservient. You know what I'm saying? They're just kind of like shoot, go over there, but I need you to do this, and this. You know? And they just become content with that, wondering why, you know, shit is fucked up in their relationships, right? Bro, a lot of the times you need to tap in with your base. You I believe that not all men have a lot of other men in their circle, right? I believe that we are blessed to actually have other men within our circle that we can at least identify with, relate to, and, you know, self-reflect on what we like, what we do not like. Not a lot of men have that, but to their almost, I don't want to say detriment, that affects how they go into relationships because they think that whatever they're doing, you know, following someone like a Fresh and Fit, right? I can now go into this relationship.
My man always goes back to Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, my man. I can apply what Fresh and Fit told me and get married now. Yeah, I can go and do my thing now.
And they be lying like a mob.
They be lying, right? And then wonder why, you know, like your lady doesn't even respect you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that, I mean, I just want to, you know, just start that up. You know,
it's cool. I'm glad you said that because these two topics are like just joined, right? Yeah. Because it doesn't mean your friends do these things that they're bad, not at all. Right. Or you do those things. It's just you start realizing, dang, how can I be better? Yeah. Or where am I going wrong? And I'm getting older and I'm not making better decisions. Then you go into your relationships with women and you're wondering why. I find it very odd.
Like it's about to go down.
I gotta say this. I find it very odd when the man of the house pays all the bills. The woman fights with them, doesn't cook for him, doesn't give him no sex, doesn't be kind and gentle, and doesn't appreciate him. And yet he's supposed to do these things.
Doing them things.
And this is not toward anybody because I see it multiple times. I mean, when I was married, it was the same thing. Like I paid all the bills, yet she was. It just blows my mind. I never understand that. And it's to you women, man. Like, Do you think, okay, you might find a man that's more attractive, maybe he's more subservient or whatever, maybe whatever to you. But do you honestly think you are going to find another man the way you treat this man,
Right.
and you think he's going to do all of that for you and put up with your shit?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. Absolutely not. You know, because when you expose yourself, it's going to happen. So this goes back to when a man comes to that point where he understands himself, he starts realizing that he's been making, as I have been making, bad relationship decisions, being toxic in those relationships, because I have yet to deal with me.
True.
And when a man has trouble finding a good woman, or a woman that is going to be a decent woman, right? She's going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
He struggles with it because why? He struggles within himself.
Within himself.
You know, and that's
true.
the thing. And I want to say this, I'm gonna let you. I think sometimes we as men, because we get so focused on trying to be man, hear me roar and stuff. I think a lot of times we lack sensitivity when it comes to dealing with women. You know, because the thing is like, it's like you're not gonna treat your mama bad. Some will, some won't. You know what I mean? You're not gonna treat your mama bad. You're not gonna talk aggressive to your grandma. You know, you got a woman in your life. It's okay to be gentle. It's okay to rub her feet. It's okay to just hug. It's okay to talk about, hey baby, how was your day? It's okay to stop and focus on that, right? But I didn't understand, right? Because I was always like, go, 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 go.
Right.
I didn't take time to see how your day was going. And so,
Do you think that there's a sense of, if I do this with my partner, she's going to run over me? Do you think that exists, or do you think that that's just like a sense of insecurity?
Oh man, you always hit me with these questions like that. You always do that, because I'm gonna tell you 100, and it's always the same answer in my opinion, right? Just in a different conversation. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think the reason I say it doesn't matter is because, bro, if she's not the one, bro, hey, look. I'm sorry, love, you couldn't receive this. I'm sorry, love, that this was not for you.
Yeah.
You move on. You get to the next one. But why should you not care? Because you know why? You are practicing healthy etiquette, healthy characteristics, healthy discipline, healthy mindsets. You're practicing those things, right? And game time. You practice like you play.
True.
So like Kobe, man, God bless his soul, was prime example. He played and he practices like he's in the game.
Yeah.
And so when you go and you finally in the championship game with the right one, homie, it don't even matter.
Yeah.
You know why? You went through that. Hey, thank you for exposing yourself. Hey, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
And then and then what happens? I'm gonna say this because I'm a man and a woman's not in a relationship with me. What's she gonna do? She's gonna be bitter. She's gonna still be blaming me. She's still gonna be doing all these things. And the reality is what? All she had to do was embrace what I was doing.
Yeah.
All she had to do was receive what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, I'm not there every day. You know why? Because I'm grinding 11 hours out my day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't be there.
Yeah.
I got it. You know what I'm saying? And
I was just thinking about some of the struggles. I talking to some of the fellas that are single, right? And some of the struggles that they have with dating. It's funny how all of this kind of comes full circle, right? You'll see some guys that'll go out on dates. They just think, hey, if I go out on this date and spend set amount of money, right? Take this person not to Cheesecake Factory, not to any of those places on the list.
Spend their whole check in 2 days.
Spend the whole check
in 2 days.
I'm talking. I know cats dropping like $500 on a dinner, and wondering why it didn't work out. Right, thinking it should work out. Like the thought process, I dropped this amount of money, right? It should work out. And I'm not in the dating scene, so I can't say that I can fully relate. But just looking on the outside, I'm just like, brother, that is just not the way. I remember I was dating this one chick back in the day, right? And at that point, I had my mom's old whip, and I had my new whip, right? And the whip was like, at that point, like 15, 20 years old, right? And I was thinking in my head, I was like, I'm going to take this girl out on a date. I'm going to take the old whip first. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to take the old whip and just see where it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just that concept, I think, I'm not saying it's completely lost, but I think that is something that is not as common as it used to be, right? It's to kind of show, not your lowest self, but just show you, and then see if someone is actually going to accept you. You spending, half a G on dinner on a first date, to me, is beyond excessive. I don't care if you got it or not.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Because what you do is you set what the actual parameters are of the follow-on relationship. How you gonna take this chick to Cheesecake Factory next? You know what I'm saying? You just dropped 500, right? And so you continue doing these things, and to me, it's just like a falsehood that we as men have been programmed to think that we need to do in order to have a successful relationship.
You know, you made me think of something. When you talk about like the money, when somebody wants you to spend $500,000 on them because they feel that they deserve it, I think about that's $500 to $1,000 that I can invest in our future if we work.
True.
You know what I mean? If we work, right? So, you know, let's say you and a young lady, y'all work. That's $500,000 I can invest in our retirement and our future. So we don't got to work when we're 40, 50 years old. You know what I mean? But you ain't going to think like that because you thinking as I'm a momentary piece.
Momentary.
I'm just a momentary piece. I'm just for the moment. I'm looking at, this is, but what I want for the moment is not eating $500 worth of food. It's not what I want for the moment.
Right.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
Here we go.
I was a, man, listen, I gotta get your ears, baby. Gotta get your ears. This is just, bro, I am a true believer, and I know that most people would disagree with this. I am a true fan of believing in prostitution, dog. I'm gonna be real with you. I think like that's one of the gifts to like, you know what I mean? Women like, you nasty, you the snap. Check this out. And I was watching somebody, he was like, bro, I think it was Gilbert Arenas.
Okay.
And he was talking about that. It might be, the Gilbert, don't hold me. It was one of you brothers, man. It might not have been Gilbert, but check it out. He was like, bro, listen, like, it's the best thing. Yeah. Because, bro, you go spend $200, you know what I'm saying? You get exactly what you want. You bypass all the nonsense. You ain't got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You look amazing. You know what I'm saying? I don't even got to get you no food because I can go to Cheesecake Factory by myself and eat a good meal, and I spent $250 for the night.
True.
And you go out with somebody for $500. You ain't even paid for the hotel. You ain't even paid for this.
Nothing.
And you ain't getting nothing.
She hitting you with the bye-bye after that.
Bro,
500.
what? That's $500, dog. Like, I could have got 2 great nights out of $500. I'm just saying, like, yo, women, that's sometimes y'all have fellas that be in that place. But that's what I'm thinking. Like, women ain't giving you none. This is what bothers me, too. I'm going back to an old topic. You know what gets me is this, and it goes back to the one time I said. It gets me when women don't want to give you none, right? In relationships, don't want to give you none.
Yeah.
Don't want to deprive you. We're not just talking about a day or two.
Right.
I'm just talking about a week or two.
Yeah.
Deprive me. But here I am over here spending my hard-earned money on a little bit of prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Or... You know what I'm saying? Or, I'm hanging out with another female on the side.
Yeah.
And you ain't want to give me none in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? And then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I just find that is wrong. Now this has nothing to do with dating. This is all
controversial thought.
Go ahead.
Right? Controversial.
That's
thought.
Exactly what it is, bro.
Controversial thought would be paying for the box, right? Prostitution, and not getting any box. But then the prostitute takes your money and then leaves. That would be the same as getting deprived in the same home.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, on a flip note, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dating. We talking about dating. Now we went to prostitution. Only on the Old Line Air show, baby. This is what we do. But nah, for real. It's funny. We look in the mirror and we see one thing. We see something, right? But the question is, are you really being kind, gentle, and loving to the people around you? That don't mean you can't be an asset. That don't mean you can't be firm. It don't mean you can't be what's right. But are you really reflecting what you expect from other people? Yeah. If you ain't, man, I encourage you to challenge yourself to get it, because that's what I'm doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to be somebody. I want to be somebody, man, when they call me. You know, they call me because I'm going to give them the right advice. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to be there. And if I call them, I want the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be able to learn and grow through that situation. We're not even having the conversations about building nothing, building an empire.
Yeah, man,
we're not talking about building success, leaving things to our children. We're doing it, but we're not sending text messages how to build those things with each other. Having those conversations. Yeah. We want to key and laugh.
Yep.
And if that's cool, that's cool. But that's why relationships vary with different people. Yep. Maybe this is just the relationships that I have that are key.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's the whole idea of having like the burning house and just sitting here laughing, you know, like having a little party or whatever. Like, yo, put out the fire. Let's build, let's grow, let's rebuild what's going on.
Absolutely,
and we're just so content with letting shit burn and just, you know, having a good time. Let's go out, let's hang out, let's do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no, like you got it. Like, shout out to moms. Like, she always puts out balance,
Yeah.
right? It's always about the balance. You can have your fun, right? But at the same time, make sure that you're actually building something on the side.
Absolutely.
If you're just having fun, you'll realize that you're just never going to actually go anywhere.
never, man.
If you're just sitting here building, you're going to realize that you're going to be miserable because you're just going to work yourself to death. You have to have that balance.
Yeah, yeah. And I had to learn that, man, because I'm definitely all over the place for years. And now I'm understanding. But I'm understanding why now. Right? You know what I'm saying? I understand looking back, right? So, man, check it out, man. Listen, man, hey, man, thank y'all for joining the show.
Yeah.
Get ready for O-Line is. We got some new things coming, man.
Absolutely.
Look, man, we love y'all.
Love y'all.
Peace,
So,
love, and glory, baby.
be
My
easy.
man.
Yes.
Hola.
All right.
I'ma get busy with